All right, after you've made your list and you got a good list going, I suggest at least 100 names on your list. Do your best to put as many as you can, but remember, on your list, they don't have to have exactly the name of the person. It could be the person you got your dry cleaning done, the painter down the street, the guy at the pack and ship. Now you're ready to go and contact and invite them. Again, there's three ways that I suggest that I've got different ways of contacting people, or groups of people, should I say. The first group is the people that I'm going to contact and invite to my home tasting party. That's where I really have focused, and I've got a goal set to get everyone that I'm contacting to my home tasting party, because that is where all the momentum comes from in my business. Is it all starts at the home tasting party. Secondly would be the person, so that I'm going to call people to come to that. The first group of people would be calling people that know where my house is, obviously, that's easy to contact. I'm calling them up and getting them over to the house. Second would be with the people that didn't show up that I invited to the tasting party. I've got to go meet with them on the street with my Monavie Coolie bag, with my guest pack, with my Treasure Chest Quarterly magazine in my hand, so I can go over there, drink with them, and tell them, hey, look, here's what you're missing out. Look at these guys in this Treasure Chest Quarterly. Look at the success they're having. They're from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life. They've got, I kind of am ready to go when I'm going to go talk to my friend that's in real estate. So I've got somebody like Charlie Caleb in the Treasure Chest Quarterly talking about, here's a guy in real estate that's succeeding in this and why he says that he put it together. Could be a truck driver, could be a CPA. They're all in the Treasure Chest Quarterly. And then I've got my guest pack, which has the income disclosure sheet that I use because I want to show them the information of the kind of money that the potential that you could make in Monavie. And I've got the product brochure that has all the information on the product. So again, in your map calendar, contact and inviting is on page 21, and it goes all the way up through page 24 and into 25. So it's pretty big information, strategy. A couple quick tips on contacting. First of all, you don't have to be real comfortable talking to people when you're contacting. I mean, contacting and inviting almost goes back to the very first step in the 10-step pattern, which is defining what you want to get out of your Monavie business. Because if you don't have a big why, contacting is going to be a lot more of a struggle, especially if you're someone like me. My wife Gina, she loves to talk to people, contact them. I mean, that's just a gift she's always had. She can go to the grocery store and come back an hour later and tell me that she met somebody that's going to teach us all how to play tennis. And I said, how'd you meet the guy in line at the grocery store? I'm like, you met somebody in line at the grocery store that's going to teach us how to play tennis? I mean, when you tell me to go get cheese at the store, I go get the cheese and I come home. I don't talk to nobody. I'd much rather sit on the soccer game and watch my daughter play soccer and not talk to anyone. That's really not something I'm comfortable just sitting there and focusing on the game. But if you've got a big why and you know why you want to succeed in Monavie, for instance, I wanted to bring my wife, Gina, home from work. That was my biggest reason why. And I wanted to retire, financial freedom, travel. I love traveling, goofing around. I've been water skiing for 20 years, so having a job for the last 10 years, I really knew that I really wanted out of that, and I wanted to be goofing around and traveling and having fun with my family and friends. So if you have a big why, you'll get uncomfortable to get your why. So in order for me to get Gina home from work, I had to get uncomfortable or do something that I really didn't want to do in order to get it, but I actually enjoyed it because I knew what I was going to get from it. So when I would get on the phone and contact people to come to the tasting party, even though I didn't want to do it and it was difficult doing it, the phone looked like it was alive and breathing and there was hair growing from it. It was bigger than it normally was when I had to call them. Because I knew what I wanted to get out of my Monavie business, I made the phone call anyway. And if you're a bit afraid, or if you're listening to this and your spouse, like say you're the wife and your husband is wanting to learn how to contact, action cures fear. So if you can't quite pick up the phone yourself, have your wife dial the phone for you, dial the number to your friend's house and hand it to you. Once it's ringing, you got to talk. So start doing something, have a little fun with it, but you got to invite the people over to your tasting party. Here's a couple quick. I use the same invite to this day as I started with, so it's very easy. Once you get an invite in your own words, it'll help you as you're inviting. I mean, when you put it in your own words. But remember this. page 23, make sure that you're not making the mistake that most people make when they're contacting. So before we go and I give you this tip, I want to just understand how I'm approaching my contact. It says here, often when we start the process of contacting and inviting people, we try to tell them about the product instead of focusing on the task of qualifying them to see if they're really looking for an opportunity. Then the underline, remember you're looking for people who are looking. So if your goal is that you're looking for people that are looking, you want to do your contacting in the manner of you're leading toward that versus just talking about the product like it says here in page 23. The biggest mistake that people make is they only talk about the product and they don't ask them if they're looking.